Hello, today I'm just going to talk to you about Next.js Server Actions. I think this is really important step within the kind of Next.js ecosystem. I've got a very simple form here, so very basic user journey where I select professions. So in this case, I'm going to select UI developer. Click Next, takes me through to a username page with the previous selected option shown. I'm going to enter just my name, click on Next, and it takes me through to a success page. Nothing particularly glamorous or adventurous here, very basic form. If I just go back to home, I'm just going to show you something that's really quite important about server actions. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable JavaScript. Now that obviously JavaScript is now disabled within this application, you would expect things to start to fail. Being a JavaScript application. But because we're using server components, it means that everything still works. So if I click, say for instance, UX designer in this given instance, click Next, enter in my name, the journey still works. Now this is really powerful from Next.js because it means that obviously we can build services with JavaScript disabled. And if you think of certain organizations, for instance, government bodies, JavaScript being disabled is sometimes a characteristic of functionality that needs to work for services to continue to be operational when they're turned off. Because we're using server-side components, everything still works, which is good. So if we go under the hood to see what's happening, we've got a very standard Next.js application. We go into the app folder. If we go into the actual first page, you'll notice here that I'm just using a standard form. But one thing to take into account here is that within this form, we've now got the form action, which is pointing to the API routes. So when a user submits the form, it's taking me through to the API set option route. So if I go into my API routes folder and go into the set option, you'll notice that there's a root file here, which is pulling in the data from the request object, from the post request. Takes the option. Obviously, if there is no option provided, then it will do a next response redirect with an error, which is then pulled in from the query string, as you can see here. If, for instance, there is an option, then we are then taken to the username page. Again, the username page is just a simple server component, which again utilizes the Next.js Actions property to take me to the set username API. So if we go into the set username API, again, we're handling the post request, and we're passing the state via the cookies, very much like you would expect from a traditional server-side application such as PHP or any other technology. So from there, again, we can provide error handling to the user. So for instance, if there's no username presented, then it will provide an error. And then if there is a username, that data is then set via the response.cookies, so in this case the username, and then taken through to the success page, where all we're doing is we're reading from the cookies. So in this case, we're taking the selected option, we're taking the username, and we're then reading that out to the front end, as you can see here with these properties. So all in all, everything is working via the server. There is no client components, there is no state, there's no event handlers. Every component within this particular application is server-side. So that means then that even when JavaScript is disabled, functionality still works. Thank you.